All right, ready for a deep dive into Heart of a Samurai.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Today, we're tackling Chapter 19. Manjiro is really facing those cultural clashes head-on now.
Yeah, and in such an interesting way, the author, Margie Prius, she uses these like everyday situations
Right.
to highlight how tough it is for Manjiro. Like imagine going from, Japan to America in the 1850s.
Huge adjustment.
Huge. And suddenly you're stumped by a coin that seems to be alive.
It's such a clever way to show his thought process. He sees this jumping coin,
Yeah.
and instead of just being like, oh, magic, he's trying to figure it out, right? Like,
Yeah.
how does it work? It speaks to his resourcefulness.
Totally. And that's actually how he meets Job. Their first encounter, though, bit rough.
It was. A little tense. I mean, you can't blame Job entirely, right? He's caught in this whole web of societal norms. This is a time when xenophobia was pretty rampant.
You can't underestimate how much pressure there was to fit in, even if it meant picking on the outsider.
And that's where Tom comes in.
Oh boy, Tom.
He's like the poster child for prejudice in this chapter. Slant eyes and son of a pig. Those slurs are jarring to read.
Right. It's tough. But it seems like Prius is deliberately using calm to show us the reality of the time.
It's like a harsh reminder of what Manjiro is up against and the way he chooses to react. So powerful. The text mentors how strong he got on that whale ship.
Yeah, he could easily fought back.
Exactly. But instead...
Victory without fighting.
Yes. And that concept, it's fascinating how deeply rooted it is in Manjiro's past.
His dad instilled that in him. Right. True strength is about restraint. About using your head, not your fists.
And that's exactly what he does. But he does it with, of all things, a coin trick. So clever.
It's brilliant. It becomes this huge symbol. He takes control without throwing a single punch.
He flips the script. He doesn't let himself be the target. Instead, he's captivating them.
Even those who were prejudiced against him just moments ago.
And it's in the details that you see Prius's genius.
Oh, totally. Like that moment with the girl. She reacts so strongly when he almost touches her hair.
Yeah. During the trick, it's such a small thing, but it speaks volumes about how different those social rules were.
It's huge. The coin trick becomes more than just a trick, It's his way to connect.
It's like a language in itself.
Exactly. He's showing his intelligence, his understanding of their culture.
And it makes you think, how often do we face similar situations?
All the time, I'd say.
Where we need to bridge those gaps, challenge assumptions, back again with Manjiro's adventures in Heart of a Samurai. We're really digging into Chapter 19, where that idea of victory without fighting, it just keeps echoing through.
It's woven into everything, especially his relationships.
Big time. Take Job, for example. At first, it's almost like they're rivals, right? With that whole coin prank thing.
Right.
But then by the end, buddies, what changed?
Well, that coin trick, it becomes this weird kind of bond between them.
Totally.
Job's not above the prejudices of the time he joins in on the prank, but Manjiro, he's so cool about it, almost like he sparks something in Job.
Like, wait a minute, there's more to this guy.
Exactly. It's like that shared fascination. It breaks down a barrier.
Yeah.
And it goes beyond just that initial moment.
It does.
Oh, yeah. Manjiro actually gives Job tips, shows him how to use fishing line to make the trick even better.
Wow, he doesn't have to do that.
Not at all. But it shows you something about Manjiro, He's not trying to be better. He wants to share.
That's what I like about him, that openness. And it pays off. Remember when those rumors start swirling? Tom saying Manjiro's a spy?
Yeah.
Who's the one who stands up for him?
Job. In that social climate.
Yeah.
It was huge. You didn't just go against the grain like that.
So much pressure to conform back then.
Exactly. The fact that Job risks that to defend Manjiro tells you everything about how close they've become.
He sees the real Manjiro, not just some other. And their friendship, it's not just shared hobbies, is it?
Not at all. It's mutual respect.
They challenge each other intellectually. You see that when they're working on the Whitfield farm.
Totally different vibe than when Manjiro's with Tom. So much tension there.
Speaking of Tom, talk about fear and ignorance.
He seems to get worse the more Manjiro thrives, doesn't he? Like it threatens him somehow.
It's like those fixed mindsets. Anything different, it's a threat. And the way he reacts. Spreading rumors, even trying to turn other students against Manjiro.
Trying to hold on to control by any means necessary.
You have to hand it to Manjiro, though. He could easily stoop to that level, but he doesn't.
So much restraint. Prius really emphasizes that.
Chooses victory without fighting. Every time. Stays focused on his goals. But is that always enough, though? I mean, one of the sources we looked at, it pointed out there are drawbacks to that approach.
It's not easy. Takes incredible discipline. You're not going to change deeply held prejudices overnight.
So how does he do it? How does Manjiro stay true to himself in such a tough environment? And we're back, wrapping up our look at Chapter 19 of Heart of a Samurai.
Where Manjiro's journey really makes you think,
It does. We've seen him face prejudice, build these unexpected friendships, all while adapting to a whole new world. And this theme, this victory without fighting,
It's central to everything.
it is. But it makes you wonder, is it always enough? I mean, take that whole situation with Tom. Manjiro, he handles it brilliantly. That coin trick.
Yeah.
Genius.
Pure genius.
But the problem itself, it doesn't just disappear, does it?
Right, like one of the sources we looked at, it talked about these deeper tensions that can linger.
Even when there's no actual fight.
Exactly. Tom's prejudice, it's like deep-rooted. Just
Yeah.
avoiding a fight won't change that.
So it's more like Manjiro's made the first move,
Yeah.
A powerful one, don't get me wrong, but it's a long game. And the chapter ends and you're left thinking, what happens next? How does he deal with that?
That's what's so great about Prius's writing, though. She doesn't give you easy answers.
It's true.
It's like she's saying, look, understanding different cultures, it's a process,
Oh.
ongoing. Manjiro shows us that. Yeah, he avoids a fight, but the bigger issue of prejudice, that takes constant work.
And you start to see those parallels to our own lives, don't you? Those deeper tensions, they exist everywhere. We might not be brawling in the streets, but
But that doesn't mean everything's perfect.
exactly. It's that need for empathy, for understanding, that never goes away. And that's what Manjiro himself has learned. He's not trying to erase who he is,
He's finding ways to bridge the gap.
Exactly. The coin trick, his friendship with Job, they become his way of connecting.
Showing everyone the value of difference.
And isn't that a powerful message? Especially now, in a world that feels so divided sometimes.
Absolutely. Manjiro's story, it reminds us to be curious, to look for common ground, to choose victory without fighting every single day.
It's a choice in every interaction. It's about really seeing the world through someone else's eyes and realize, adapting to different cultures. It takes two.
It's a shared effort, a shared journey.
Well said. And while our deep dive might be ending this conversation, it's far from over.
Keep exploring these ideas in your own life. Choose victory without fighting.
Beautifully put. Until next time, everyone, keep thinking, keep questioning.
And keep connecting.
Absolutely.